Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. I just wanted to talk a little bit about James Caan. He just passed away, was age 82. Did not know the man personally, but I loved his work. And I used to do a podcast called Comedy Film Nerds. We even have a book called The Comedy Film Nerds Guide to Movies that was written by myself and Chris Mancini and a bunch of contributing, very funny comedians. And James Caan, he's really good in the first Godfather, obviously. But one of my favorite James Caan movies is a movie Thief, which came out in the 80s. And it is so good for numerous reasons. One, it shows Chicago in the 80s and the mob and the crime and what was going on. It's very much a Chicago movie. But to show you how good of an actor James Caan was, the character he was playing in Thief, he went through the script and he took out all of the contractions because he thought, this guy that I'm playing is so concise. He goes, he would never use a contraction because he would want everyone to understand exactly what he was saying. So he took out the I didn't go to the store and made it, I did not go to the store. And I was like, that is a brilliant piece of acting to take. And again, take a really good script and make it better. So the movie Thief is fantastic. He also has a great little small part in the movie Bottle Rocket, which is the first Wes Anderson movie. It's the movie that all those, the Owen and Luke Wilson broke out of. You know, it was watch, if you haven't ever seen Bottle Rocket, it's a great movie. And James Caan is great in it. I'd watch, obviously, the first Godfather. And then the other one, Rollerball, which Rollerball was done in the 70s, and it's a futuristic world. And it shows, it is one of these movies that was so prescient, meaning it predicted the future. And if you watch the show and we talk about, the world is run by a bunch of corporations. In the original Rollerball, please go back and watch this. James Caan plays Jonathan E. And the movie starts out and rollerball is the big sport of the future. And it's like football and everyone's, and it's this violent blood sport. And there's no more countries anymore. Everybody works and plays for, the world has been divided up by corporations. So Rollerball is an excellent movie that shows what the corporate system, and you can't try to be an individual in the corporate system. It's very good in that. Another movie that came out in the late 80s, early 90s was Alien Nation, which is a really good movie about, it has some corny stuff that doesn't hold up, but Alien Nation is a really good movie in terms of thematically, and James Caan is great in it, about immigrants and slavery under the backdrop of these aliens come to our planet. And they're basically, it was slave ships. And they're obviously drawing a lot of direct parallels to the, slaves that were brought here from Africa, right? Hundreds of years ago. And greed and stuff like that. And James Caan is really good in that film. But I would watch Rollerball, I would watch Thief, and I would watch Bottle Rocket. Those are my favorite James Caan movie. On top, obviously, Sonny Corleone is he's great in the first Godfather. But those are my favorite James Caan movies, especially Rollerball. Especially Rollerball and Thief, because it really, Rollerball predicts this kleptocracy that's run by oligarchs that we're living in right now. Or sports is just out of control, big corporate stuff. And Thief, again, he's trying to be his own guy, and the mob tells him what he wants to do, and he doesn't want to work for the mob and the corrupt Chicago cops. It's very the Chicago cops in Thief are very corrupt. And it's accurate. That's how the cops are. So those are my favorite James Caan movies, and I highly recommend that you watch them. And he was a really good actor. And sorry he passed away, but he left behind a great legacy. I mean, we're all going to go. Nobody lives forever. And he lived a great life and made great movies that we're still talking about today. So go check those movies out. especially Rollerball, because it helps with, if you're watching the show to become more aware of what's going on, see a movie that was made 40 some years ago that is predicting the world we're living in today. And that's the other thing I want to talk about real quick. When I talk about the corporate media and the propaganda, they control everything. In the 70s, you could make movies like that showed this stuff. Movies like that kind of come out, Real Player One and stuff like that. They talk about it a little in these movies, the new Jurassic Park movies, talking about, not taking care of the environment, but it wasn't so like brilliantly written. And because now big corporations control Hollywood. They didn't used to. In the 70s, read the book, Easy Writers, Raging Bulls. It talks about the era of the 70s. The studio system had collapsed, and it was before the big corporations bought out Hollywood. So these amazing movies in this one little decade got made, and Rollerball is one of them. Anti-war movies were made, anti-CIA movies were made, like 3 Days of the Condor. But as far as James Caan, watch Rollerball, watch Thief. And that should complete your film education. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for supporting what we do. We've been demonetized for 17, 18 months. So, but thanks to folks like you, we're still going. You, the best, smartest fans in the world, support this show. And that's how we're able to keep going, because of you. So I'm eternally grateful to you. And I like sharing this knowledge and talking movies. So thanks for supporting what we do. Shave your knuckles for justice.